ahead. All right. So yeah, so I think that we're on and popping.
We are, lady. It looks like
we are. We're on. All right.
you ready?
Oh, look, Zip's coming in.
Hey, Zip.
All right, Zip's got to connect, but all right, I think we're ready. Yeah, we're ready to go.
Like, where y'all been at? I've been waiting. I've been waiting for y'all. What y'all doing?
Oh man. Well, yeah, Zip's she's still connecting to audio, but I'm good. I'm ready for the conversation though. I think it's gonna be a good one.
So I know some people, I know a couple people like that don't eat any meat at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat beef products, pork products, but I do eat chicken. Maybe I should do it like this, chicken, right? Because there's
like not chicken.
Well, have you ever wondered how the world is able to keep up with all the chicken demand in the entire world? There's not that many chickens in the world. Let me just say it like that. Oh. So a lot of the chicken meat is not necessarily meat. There's a lot of fillers that we eat pumped into the chickens. There's no way.
Well, I don't eat chicken, so but ew.
So that's why I did like this, right? Because I'm almost certain that it's not 100% meat that we're eating. I'm almost certain that it's not 100%. Because there's no way that all of the people in the world that consume chicken, that there's that many chickens in this world. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, you can also 3D print your meats now.
Yeah, I told you about the eggs that are not really eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Good
morning, Zip.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I heard y'all talking about eggs.
So you want to introduce the topic, Ness?
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about the nutrients that you are lacking in the plant-based diet, right? And mainly the meat substitutes, right? Okay. So you have your soy products, your pea products, right? So we're going to be talking about that. But I was just saying that there are some people that eat certain meats and some people are off, like no meats at all. And so I was saying for myself, I don't eat beef and I don't eat pork products, but I do eat chicken. And so that came up when I did like this, she's like, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, because I'm thinking all the people in the world that eat chicken, there's no way that there's that many chickens in the world. There's no way.
She just spreading rumors is what she's doing.
Chicken meat with something to make it so you get these big fat chicken breasts that you're like, well, how much did the chicken weigh?
Hormones, hormones, steroids, name them.
Right. So it's not all meat. They're pumped with something.
Right.
That's where I was going. And then that's where I was going with that. And then I was saying how the eggs, I was watching something where the eggs aren't necessarily laid. They're created in a laboratory.
I saw that. Yeah.
Which is
strange world that we live in.
Some people that choose like no meat at all, they still have that desire to eat meat-like substances, right? Like they want to have something that resembles a piece of chicken or something that resembles a burger or a steak. I don't know. Do they do steaks?
Yeah, you can do anything. They got fake shrimp, fake fish, fake steaks. Yeah, fake everything.
I didn't know that seafood. I thought it was like.
Oh no! Oh yeah, definitely fake seafood too. All of that. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
all of it.
I gotta look a little bit into that, but yeah, when people do that route, when they do the meat substitutes, your body is missing certain nutrients that the animal products provide to us. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is like, what are you missing if you opt that route? Because there are some people that suggest, if you like a plant-based diet or like meat substitutes, some people still say, well, you should still get your meats. But their argument is the iron portion. But there's so many other options for iron that you don't have to literally eat up to get your iron. We're going to talk about that.
Your audio is acting up a little bit.
My audio?
Yeah, on my end, yeah.
It was lagging. I think it was lagging a little bit.
Something.
But you're good. I think you're good now.
I didn't even move.
It's the devil.
Like, don't be telling our secrets about how we manufacture food over here.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you already know how it is. You can't be over here talking that talk, you know, and expect not to have some issues. Now, come on.
So I'm gonna have to talk in code, I guess.
Well, blink twice for.
So some of the, I'm not really I don't know too much about like meat substitutes, so I did a little research on it, right? So some of the products are made with, you know, the plant-based are made with soy, you know, they're soy-based. Some of them are pea-based. Some of them are fermented soy, which I'll talk about a little bit. And then mycoproteins. Mycoproteins are?
Microproteins?
MYCO proteins, mycoproteins.
Talk about it.
Well, they're made with fungi. They're derived
from mycin. Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. So basically when people go the route, like the route, there are some benefits to that, right? So you're not getting as much fat, you're not getting as much cholesterol as like the actual animal products. So in that respects, you know, they're beneficial to your body, right? You're less fat, less cholesterol, and less calories when you do plant-based options. But the trade-off for that is you are missing some very important nutrients. All right. And so when you think about a plant-based product, the plants have certain chemicals or substances within themselves that are beneficial to plants, but those same substances are not necessarily beneficial to us, right? And so one of those substances is phytates, PHYTATES, right? So that substance, the plants use to absorb phosphorus for their reproductive growth and all of that stuff. Well, when the humans consume the phytates, it actually binds to nutrients within our body and makes them less absorbable. So it messes with our zinc, it messes with our iron, and it messes with our calcium. And so then I looked at that and I said to myself, I said, well, if they know that these phytates are binding to our iron or, you know, calcium, is there a way that they can make the products so that, you know, like as fillers, like put in more calcium or put in more iron or put in more zinc? And they do. So they put in what they call non-heme iron, right? Non-heme iron is not as absorbable and it's not attached to blood. Heme is blood, right? So when they make these products, the phytates bind to the non-heme within the actual plant-based product. So they're not drawing from your heme, like from your iron, right? But you're still not getting iron in your diet, right? It's just not taking away as much as it could. So they do have products that will say that they have iron in them, but it's non-heme iron and it's not as absorbable for our body. So they're trying.
And this isn't, I'm sorry, but just so that I'm clear, this is specifically in fake meat products?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
yes.
Good. All right. That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
Because the trade-off is regular animal products, they have the blood in them. So you're getting the heme iron through those products. Mm-hmm. But these products do not have heme iron in them. In fact,
now what about when they have, like, now they have the fake beef with fake blood in it? So they'll have like fake, Yeah. So there'll be like fake ground beef. And then with that, you'll have fake blood within the package because they want it to look more like ground beef. Yeah. So what I'm guessing that this we don't know about that. Like that's but yeah, that's a thing. I've used it before.
So what do you know what that blood substance is or blood-like imitation?
No clue. No idea. No idea. But I do know that I stay far away as often as possible from fake meat products.
Can you okay, this is now I have a question.
Okay.
Does it taste like, so I'm not a beef eater. I haven't eaten beef in over 20 something years. Like I just don't eat beef. So when you had that substance, does it taste like beef product, like beef with the
I don't know. I probably haven't had beef longer than you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't eat meat. So I really have no idea if it tastes like it or not. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I know. What about you, Zip? You ever had any meat substitute products made with soy? No.
Oh, you gotta unmute yourself. I'm sorry. I know I muted you because of the background noise.
Oh, I know. I got my whole family in here, so it's noisy. I eat meat.
Yeah.
So I don't know what a fake, like, I know I've had, what is it called? Like Impossible Burger. Yeah, I had Impossible Burger before, and it just tasted like a burger. It didn't taste different.
Okay, so then it does taste like meat.
Oh,
mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's the taste or just the texture, if that makes sense.
It's different.
No, it's the same. But once you add, like once you have a burger and everything is together, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell the taste, but I think it's more so the texture of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because once you add your condiments on it, you got the bread, your tomato, your lettuce. It's just like,
yeah, I would have to taste it by itself to see, like, oh, this tastes like ground beef, but.
Mm-hmm. But the Impossible Burger, though, isn't that one of the ones that has like something? Now I'm gonna look it up real quick.
The plant-based?
No, it's plant-based, all right. But I'm trying to think, does it have like the fake blood? Right. Let me see. I'm just gonna look it real quick. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Hold up. All right. So this is like, I just Googled it real quick. It's the first thing that it said. All right, so this is an Impossible Burger. The ingredient is also referred to as genetically engineered heme, soy. Oh, I'm about to butcher this. Leg hemoglobin. Something like that. It looks I think I'm about to butcher it. Y'all don't judge me. No, it looks like it says leg hemoglobin. It is a color additive Impossible Foods used to make its plant-based burger appear to bleed as if it were beef. So it says it's a color additive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand why does it need to bleed?
Because they want it to look like it's the real deal. They want in your mind to be like, oh, this is the real beef, and real beef got blood in it, and yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, it's the Impossible Burgers, that beef that has that heme in it. Yep.
That's the fake blood.
That's the fake blood. It's the fake blood. Wow. And you know what though? Impossible Burger, you talking about winning the game in
marketing,
and not just in marketing, but also just in like the taste and texture of the ground beef. But like I said, I try to stay far away from all of the fake meat fake vegan meats, like those kind of things. I just try to stay far away from them. If I have them, it's gonna be like once in a blue moon, like maybe once a year or something like that, because just because it's vegan or because it's vegetarian doesn't mean that it's good for you. If it's still like heavily processed, and it's still heavily processed, it don't really matter, if it's vegan or not. We're talking about like that's the move. The move is to get away from all of that, the processed things and the bioengineered ingredients and all those things that we've been talking about. And so it's like, doesn't make it safer.
We all just need to get our own land, grow our own food, and call it a day.
Agreed.
I mean, that's a solution. That's a simple solution, but it's not a simple process. But it's a simple solution. But until then, we just got to read our labels, right? And be conscious of what we are actually consuming.
It just happened to me yesterday. I went and got some food, some Afghan food that was really good. It was really good, but I was like, oh, does it come with a drink? And I was thirsty, so they had, in the drinks, like all they had in there was basically like Sprite and Coke and all this stuff, so I was just like, you know what, I just drove, we was driving for 7 hours yesterday to DC, and I was like, man, I'm about to give me the Sprite. So I give me the Sprite, I look at the label, because at this point, I'm trained. I'm looking at the label. And there's a QR code, man, and I scanned it. I had to go through. I found out that that was bioengineered. It had bioengineered ingredients, and I was like, I said, man. And so anyway, so I took the L, and I was like, I'm drinking this Sprite, but for the future though, now I'm like, man, now I got to throw away all of them things. And so I want to get like one of those bubbly machines where you can just make your own carbonated drink. Yeah, that's really what I think is like the solution to that. But anyway, I said all that to say, not to detour too much. I said all that to say, you really got to work hard.
You do.
You really got to work hard to like uncover what is in what you're eating and what you're drinking, like what you're consuming, right?
Right.
So a lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to have this vegan meal, and instead of getting real chicken, I'm going to go and get the barbecue baked, I don't know, seitan, right? Yes. Or whatever. Like, I'm going to go and get that because it has like a more of a meaty texture. What I like to do instead of doing that is getting things that actually are not processed, in these ways. So getting things like mushrooms and grounding them up, and you can ground them up and bind them with some things if you want to have a certain texture, or jackfruit. You can use that as a substitute for pulled pork. It's got like a certain texture to it that can work and be a little bit more meaty, right? Like those are the kind of things, like taking real foods that have not gone through all these like chemical processes in order to substitute them for your meat. If you're just looking for something that's filling, but you're not going to get the same nutritional swap, right, for it. So you've got to be aware of that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I've listed 4 of them. And seitan was one, right? And they say it's made with wheat gluten. It's kind of chewy, but it does have like a meat-like texture, right? And it's high in protein. So you're getting your protein. If you're worried about like, if I'm not eating poultry, I'm missing out on my protein. There are other sources of protein, FYI, but it does say that it's an excellent or high in protein. And it's a good source for people that don't eat meat. And it is actually low in fat, right? So that's one option. And tempeh, which is the fermented soy. So regular meat substitutes that are not made with fermented soy have the phytates. But the minute it goes through the fermentation process, it breaks down those phytates. So it's no longer affecting the heme absorption because it's gone through the fermentation process. So the tempeh, they say, is a better alternative. And miso, MISO, also a better alternative than the ones that have not gone through that process, right? And they say that one is kind of firm, but it has like a nutty texture. Have you ever had the tempeh before, anyone? I've never had it.
So I have.
can't speak on what it tastes like or texture, but they do say that one
not my favorite. Not my favorite.
They say it's a good source of healthy fat. Like the good fat is and they said it's sold in like big blocks. And then you can slice it or crumble it down or do whatever you're gonna do with it. They say people use it for stir fries, for like tacos. And
I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, that's me. That's me. I also don't like cottage cheese though. You know, some people swear by it. So I mean,
they don't gotta worry about that. Tofu is soybeans, and be careful with the soy products, but tofu is soybeans. It's good for protein. It says it has a mild flavor and it's soft. And it's custard-like texture. Now I have
soft tofu is,
I've had it one time it was actually at a wedding, and it was supposed to be teriyaki. And I was so disappointed. I left. I was so hungry, and we were really far from where we needed to be. And I'm like driving home, like, I can't believe I didn't eat before I came to this wedding because there was nothing. But I mean, the
tofu, you have to know how to prepare it. You know, it doesn't really have a taste to it, so you have to know like which kind you're getting. Like the soft tofu does have like that custardy, silky sort of texture. But then there's hard tofu, which is what I use when I make like barbecue tofu, barbecue baked tofu or anything. You just got to know like how you're cooking the things.
It just literally tasted like, I can't even think of a good word to describe it. I just was disappointed. I was like, what is this? Oh no. No. But so I didn't like the tofu. But lentils, right? You can use lentils. They're high in fiber, protein. You can use that. They're nutty in flavor, low in fat, right? You can put them in your salad, soups, whatever you want to do. And then jackfruit, you mentioned that earlier. Jackfruit is actually a good one, right? They say it's juicy, has like a sweet flavor to it naturally. I've never had it, so I can't speak from personal experience. But when I looked it up, it does say it's really high in fiber, and you can use it for sandwiches, tacos, pretty much anything. But I've never had it. I've heard good things of it, but personally, I've never had jackfruit.
I love jackfruit. Anytime I'm looking for, I mean, I don't eat, put that way down. I don't eat pork, right? But I think in terms of like getting that texture of like pulled pork specifically, it's a good go-to, So like I've had it in like tacos. I've had it in like rice bowls, and it's really good. It's worth it.
Yeah. Now, is that a seasonal product, or is that something that you can get any time of the year?
I feel like in the US, you can get anything at any time of the year.
That's true.
Every plant should be seasonal, right? Like they all have their life cycles, but like here, I don't know how we get our hands on it, but I feel like you can always find it, but you can't. You don't find it. You don't find it in the fruit. You find it in the package year round.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're never gonna see jackfruit is like this big ass, like it's a big fruit, right? So you're not gonna ever find that in your grocery store. You're always gonna find it in like a package, seasoned maybe. That's always how you're gonna find it.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of good things about mushrooms too. And I used to swear like I'd never eat mushrooms. I had sauteed mushrooms one time. We went out to dinner and I was like, yeah, this is so gross. And anytime I get mushrooms on anything, I would either send it back or give it to somebody at the table who ate the mushrooms, or just put it to the side of the plate. But as of the last maybe 9 months or so, I've been eating them. Like I look for them. I look for things with mushrooms, and I'm like, they're actually good for, once I realized how good they are for you, maybe we should do a segment on mushrooms, because I was like,
a lot with mushrooms.
Yes,
a lot.
So much to mushrooms, so much you get from them. And I mean, ever since I did my research on them, I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you put mushrooms on it. I'll eat the mushrooms, or somebody else. I'm like, I'll take your mushrooms. But before I'd be like, absolutely not. These taste like dirt.
I think for me, it's the texture. Like I can't chew. It's chewy.
Mushrooms, yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
it
like I'm
can
just
be.
chewing.
You
But
you
I
have
never
you
knew
gotta
how
get them
good
cooked
they were.
right. You
So I
gotta get
guess
them cooked right.
Yeah.
You gotta get them
that
cooked
too, I
right.
guess that's the thing too. But I don't know. I never looked at it as how good. I never even looked into how good it is for you. I just knew I could. It's that chewiness, the texture that I didn't like. But I don't know. This is what I wanted to ask y'all. So because Dr. Ness just said something about a wedding she went to. So because I'm trying to change what I eat, but when we go places, it could be tempting because they got all this good food in front of me. So like, do I pack my own food? Do you pack your own food when you go places?
Nope.
To be prepared?
No.
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll eat a little bit before I go. Sometimes, like if I don't know what's on the menu, who's cooking what, I might eat a little bit of something here so that I'm not sitting there hungry watching everybody else eat and there's no options for me. So if I don't know what I'm walking into, then yeah, I'll eat a little something before I leave, but that doesn't happen all the time. Because sometimes you might get somewhere and like I said, I don't eat beef or pork, and I might get somewhere and it's like those are the only options. Or they'll have stuff and they'll say, oh, hold on one second, y'all. They'll say, oh, you can take the meat off of it, and it's like, no, it was cooked in the meat. Like I can't just take the meat off. I don't want that meat flavor. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Or it was like cooked in the same oil, and it's like, yeah, no. So then those situations, and I'm just sitting there like, well, I knew I should have ate before I left, or I'm gonna have to eat when I leave here. But I don't pack my own.
Yeah, it's normally that kind of situation too for me. Like, eating something that I know that I can have, and then when I get there, it's like, oh, if I can have a little bit of this too, I might have some of that also. But no, I don't go to a function with a big plate of food. Like, all right, y'all, I brought my own stuff because I don't know what y'all talking about. Like I feel like they just kick me right back out. Like go your butt back home, like where you came from with that.
You like outside.
Yeah, you brought your plate. You could have just stood home.
Yeah, no, I don't pack my own, but just if I don't know the environment, I don't know what's on the menu, then I'll eat a little something before because I do not want to be disappointed. And if anything, if there are options that I can't eat, then that just means I'm eating a little less because I've already eaten, I satisfied that hunger here, and then I'm just eating a little bit there and I'm not eating as much,
But now some people do pack their own foods and bring them with them. I know like anytime I was go to a barbecue before, I would bring my own stuff maybe to put on the grill. I know Linnea used to back in the day bring meals, didn't care about nobody's feelings. I'm not like that though. I was like, nah, I'm not but to each their own though. So if you feel it's really about like, if you feel comfortable with that, then you can go ahead and do that. Be like, listen, this is what I'm bringing because this is what I'm eating. That way you don't have to feel like you're missing out, or you have to be hungry and sit through all that stuff. But what I do, eat beforehand, and then get there and just be like, all right, is there anything here that I have?
Right. You know what I had to do, I learned to do years ago is, so our family knows that I don't eat beef or pork, right? My kids don't, they'll eat it if somebody else cooks it. I don't cook it. I don't buy it. So, but they can eat it if they choose to eat it. But, at this point, they don't have that taste for it. They don't really like it. Like my daughter had a burger and it was like a real burger. It wasn't a veggie burger. It wasn't a chicken or a turkey burger. And she knew right away. She goes, Mom, what is this? And I was like, girl, did you ask did you ask if it was beef? But I've learned, like, some people will, try to be accommodating, and they'll say, oh, well, this is turkey meat, or this is such and such, right? If I don't know who made it, I usually don't mess with it. And somebody brought like turkey kielbasa, right, to cook up. And they're like, oh, it's turkey. When I turned it over, it's turkey inside, but the casing is beef. So if you're eating the skin or the outside of it, you're still consuming beef. And so I had to educate them and be like, thank you for, the gesture, because that was actually really sweet, but it does contain beef. This beef casing, that's beef. That's what they wrap it in. So, y'all could eat it. Y'all could season it up or, saute it, whatever you're going to do with it. But I won't be eating that. But thank you. So that is something. So like when you're looking at these things that say chicken products or turkey products or anything that's not like beef or pork, just always look at the ingredients, because sometimes they do actually contain beef or pork, or like even some of the broth. You think it's a veggie broth or a chicken broth, and it's a beef broth, or it has, beef somewhere in it. And you're like, oh, who knew? But that's why I'm aware now. So that's why I look at these ingredients, but not everybody does that. So that was, I was like, oh, you see this right here? It says beef casing.
People aren't like, thinking that most of the time, like, got to look through all of the ingredients. And the average person, I don't think, goes through all of that. But, so bringing it back to, because I'm also looking at our time, and I'm just thinking, bringing it back to the nutrients that we're lacking in the meat substitutes, right? So for people who do not eat meat at all, right? So let's say vegans or vegetarians, and how would they go about? Because you mentioned that with the processed with the processed meats, that it's binding to some nutrients in our bodies, like it's actually depleting us from nutrients. Is that right?
Yep.
So what do we do to counteract that? Do we just make sure that the rest of our plate is filled up with certain things, or do we choose other substitutes if you want something that has a little bit more of a meaty texture? Like, how do you get around that? What's your advice for that?
So as far as the meat, if you want to do the meat substitutes, you can do that, right? But if you're looking for iron, you do have to get your iron. You can get it through your beans. You can get it through dark vegetables, right? They have like fortified cereals that are fortified with iron, but I caution that because as you'll see, a lot of the cereals have bioengineered ingredients on them. And so just stick to nature, right? Stick to the beans, stick to your greens. That's how you can get your iron. And there are some people that take iron supplements. Read those, do research on those. Yeah. But just make sure you're getting those nutrients elsewhere. And just be aware that, hey, this is not going to be a good source of iron. In fact, it's probably taking a little bit of my iron. So just be aware of that. And if that's the case, then just, make sure the rest of your diet is supplementing, or you're getting your daily requirements. And we have those numbers in our community. We have a chart of all of your daily recommended amounts of nutrients, all of them, A through Z, in our community. So you can look at that and you can see, and there's examples of which foods provide how much, what a serving would be to give you your daily requirements. So if you're in the community, you have access to that.
Nice. And also, just to be clear, can we remind everybody why it's important to have your iron levels together?
So iron is, so heme iron is attached to your blood, and your body needs it to transport oxygen throughout your whole body. And so when you are low in that, you'll see that you are getting, some people get cold, your oxygen levels are a little bit lower. So your body needs that iron to get the oxygen to the rest of your body.
Perfect. Good. Okay, so that's why this whole topic is important. Because we need oxygen for the rest of our body. And also, like, I've been anemic before. Zip, I don't know if you've ever been anemic, but like, I used to get cold and tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So
we need energy.
Yes,
we need oxygen. We need all those things. It's so many things. There's so many layers to it. So I also want to encourage anybody who's like, oh, this is like, who's feeling overwhelmed by all of the information, to just keep it simple. Dr. Ness, put it into perspective when she said, just go natural, and, and make sure that you have a good source of iron on your plate. This is whether or not you're eating vegetarian or plant-based, vegan, or if you're eating meat, right? Sometimes you may not want to eat all that meat, and you may still want to say like, I want something that feels meaty on my plate, and so take that as you may, but have a complete, a complete understanding of what's going into your foods, and also what you're consuming, how it's helping your body, because the nutrients that are in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So grow your food.
There's a theme.
This was good because I do have to take iron pills.
Do you take ferrous
sulfate? Yeah, okay. 325 milligrams.
Yep, you take it with something with calcium calcium in it. You take it.
No, they just prescribe me iron.
Take it with orange juice in the morning.
Take it with orange juice. Okay.
That helps with the absorption of it. You have the calcium with it. Yeah. So take it with orange juice. All you need is like 6 to 8 ounces of orange juice to take it with in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. I think actually one of our articles, I'm not sure. I'll check in the community. And if so, I'll let you know which one it is. But I'm pretty sure that I put something about that in there, like, maybe 2 months ago, in the community, about why you need the orange juice or calcium to help with the iron. Yeah, check that out.
It's all these things that interact with each other. That's such an intelligent design we are.
Yeah. we are designed beautifully, created beautifully. So.
Well, thank you for that information. That was, I think, a lot of new things. I hadn't ever really thought about. I had thought about the iron portion of it, though, because actually, I was a vegetarian for years. Right now, I'm a pescatarian. And one of the reasons why I decided to have a pescatarian diet is because I didn't understand the iron sources, right? So, but at that point I wasn't eating the heavily processed, the fake meats and all that stuff. I wasn't having any meat substitutes. I just was like eating badly. I was just being a bad, like, poorly educated vegetarian, eating pizza every night, and you know what I'm saying? Just doing wrong. Still a vegetarian, but just like not healthy, like just the worst example of a vegetarian that you could think of.
I think it was just like, missing some education. That's all.
I did say poorly educated, but also I was just not. Yeah, but there were no nutrients in what I was eating. I feel like, so yeah, but this was helpful though, because it puts it into a perspective of, well, even more so than this may not be helping you in the way that you think it is, right? You have meat substitute, and you think like, oh, I'm getting my protein, but I'm getting iron, and I'm getting all these things. It's like, aside from that, it could actually be drawing some things away. And that was new information for me. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, there was a trade-off, right? Less fat, less calories, less cholesterol, but it also means less nutrients. So yeah. But we're going to talk about mushrooms next week, because I'm like excited about this one, because I saw Zip's face and I'm like, oh, I had the same face. And I'm like, when I tried it and I tasted it, I was like, yeah, these are so gross. They taste like dirt. Don't worry about that. I won't be eating them. But then when I realized the benefits to them, I was like, you know what? They don't really taste like dirt. You tell yourself all that I'm getting from this, and the taste is almost like you don't even taste it, because like, okay, we're going to talk about it next week.
Okay. Okay, that we will. All right, do we have homework for tonight?
No. If I have homework, I will put it in, but I can't think of anything, because I don't know how many people in our community, eat the meat substitutes, right? Like maybe I'll put a poll up, and then depending on the responses for the poll, we can look at some things, but I don't know how many people. do the meat substitutes, right?
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, good talk, y'all. Happy Monday.
right,
Happy
y'all.
Kwanzaa. First day of Kwanzaa. Christmas was yesterday. Hanukkah was all last week. Come on now, holidays. New Year's is right around the corner. It's a joyful time, isn't it? All right, y'all. I'm about to get some breakfast.
Okay, I see y'all. We having a meetup tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll post in the group if not, because like I said, I'm out here in DC, so my schedule is a little bit different. So I'll definitely let you know if the time is changing or anything like that. But it should be at 2. But let me keep it posted.
Okay. All right. I'm going back to work tomorrow, but if I can't get on the Zoom, I'm gonna catch like the YouTube.
Okay.